Okay, this is day 5 of 10, day 6. We finished day 5 of 10, so that means we are halfway through our time-wise, a little halfway over our distance. We hit Maine last night, which is the farthest geographic point from where we are. And it was awesome because for the first time in a really long time we actually got to have a meal. All of our meals that we've been eating have been on the bike and things we've packed, packaged goods, stuff like that. And so that gets really old quick. But last night we pulled into Portsmouth, New Hampshire, just right across the river from Maine there, and on the water, beautiful night, really cool place. Had a little bit of lobster, had clam chowder, and just had good laughs and just got to really kind of enjoy ourselves for a little while. I really enjoyed it. Now we're in Manchester, New Hampshire is where we stayed the night, and got a really good 5.5 hours of sleep, which is fantastic, and we are hitting the road. Today we're actually going to cross over the border into Canada to hit Niagara Falls today, so that should be kind of fun and enjoyable. Some things so far. I kind of want to contrast the first video that we did, which was like when we started, to now we're halfway, kind of how I'm feeling. It's been an interesting trip. I think for everybody it's been very bipolar almost. These huge highs and huge lows, and it's been grueling. It feels more like a triathlon than anything else. It's a combination between a Ragnar race, a relay race with all your friends, and getting no sleep, and a triathlon, a push of endurance. So I think kind of some of the things I was thinking about every day, kind of our attitudes and whatnot, has happened. And I think the first day it was high energy because we just started a lot of high fives and yeah, we got this, we're gonna kick this everyone's butt, and it was such a long first day and it was so cold coming into New Mexico with 28 degrees that the next day I think it was a little bit more like we were tired. We were really tired, and I think that it was a little sobering. Of wow, this is really hard. Things were getting sore. Kind of still working the dynamics of the trip. That was day number 2. Day number 3, I think, was a lot of frustration to start out the day. I think realizations of how far we've gone, and dynamics of groups to be able to kind of, when the niceties leave and everyone's uncomfortable and tired and losing sleep. I think that was an interesting dynamic of that. Day 4, there was the hugest high when we were in Jenkins, Kentucky, this little gas stop in the mountains. Andy and I pulled in because we'd gotten separated from the group on day 4. They felt they needed a stop, which is actually an interesting story. We were supposed to go to Vicksburg, Missouri. They felt they needed this. They had to stop. They couldn't make it. It was about 11. It was about 12:15 at night, 12:40 at night. But Andy and I felt we could push, and it was this beautiful, just surreal experience of a full bright moon. These back roads of Mississippi, following the Mississippi River, no one on it, and just cruising and not even tired, not even a little bit. And we got in at 4 in the morning. And it was a surreal experience. It was amazing, and I'm glad I had that. So Andy and I were riding solo for basically 2 days together. And then when we pulled into Jenkins, Kentucky, it was just, and these guys literally pulled in, and some guy asked me in this southern accent, "Where are y'all from?" And I'm talking with him, and a loud motorcycle pulls up to the side, and I look at it and I said, that's the same one that Grant drives. And then all of a sudden I realized, oh my gosh, it's Grant, and it was really cool because it was the biggest wave of just happiness and excitement to see the rest of the group. It was like reuniting with long lost family, and lots of hug. Everyone, the energy level just went up, and we were so happy. And from there on out, we've all been together. And then the rest of that day just became even better and better as we rode through the western part of Virginia and Kentucky and Tennessee, which is just beautiful. I grew up on John Denver, and now I know what he's talking about is almost heaven. West Virginia, it is just gorgeous. Probably one of the most beautiful parts of the trip. in my opinion, little farm towns and back roads that were amazing. and then we rode up the coast. New York was interesting. I'd never been to New York. It was, you know, such a cool high energy city. It was very, for me, it was a little bit stressful and intense because we had these 4 people, giant, heavy Goldwing motorcycles in the traffic in New York, going around blocks and in circles and just tight. And so it was cool to see all this stuff. But words to the wise, don't ever go through New York in a Goldwing motorcycle in traffic. It's awful. It was very stressful, but even though it was awful, it was also really, really cool to see New York, and I'm glad that we did it. And then past that, the ride up was a lot of traffic, like people have talked about, but getting into Maine was just great. You know, I think, excuse me, I think at the end of it all, we're excited. We're heading west. We'll be heading into the sun a lot. But you know, we're excited to kind of get through and ready to make the next push. We hope all has gone well. So far, everything has gone well. We're in such a beautiful place. We've seen so much of the U.S. so far, and we're excited to see more. So we're keep going. Day number 6 starting out right now.